Hey, Steve here, doing my Premier League prediction video. I know it's late, so please don't complain in the comments or give me dislikes because it is late. The season's already started. We've had the first round of fixtures, by like maybe one game, I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the table. I haven't really watched any of the game played other than the Newcastle game, which you can see in a vlog. I'll put that link in the description if you want to see that. But yeah, I haven't watched any of the games other than the Newcastle game, so my Premier League predictions still going off that. Sorry it's late and all, but well, what can you do? I can't go back in time, unfortunately. So the way this will work is I'll give you my relegation predictions first, the bottom three. Then I'll give you 17th to 10th to give you the bottom half of the table not getting relegated. I'll then give you 10th to 7th, them four teams there, where I think I'll go in the top half of the table but not breaking in the top six. And finally, I'll give you 6th and 5th, where I think they'll come. Then I'll go one at a time, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, on who I think is going to win the Premier League. But we'll wait and see on that one. You'll find out at the end of this video. We'll start off, though, with my bottom three, as you can see here. I think it's going to be Watford, Cardiff, and Brighton going down this season. Reasons for this: Watford, to start off with. They've lost the main striker from last year. Yeah, he did kind of drop off the end of last season, but they've lost him and they haven't really replaced him. Got £50 million off Everton. That's another point in itself, worth another video. But yeah, Everton spent £50 million. I'll get that when I get to Everton actually, on Watford striker, and Watford haven't reinvested that money really. And for that reason, I think they're going to go bottom. Don't think they've got enough. Did terrible back end of last season. To be honest, I spoke to a Watford fan at one point who thought they would get relegated at the end of last season. That was when they were sitting 10th and just dropping like a stone. This season, I think they're goners. Next up to Cardiff, who've just got newly promoted from the Championship. For that reason, they haven't got a really strong team, to be honest. I think they'll drop off as well. Come above Watford, have a good fight. They'll probably have a good start of the season, like all newly promoted teams do. They'll do what they do best. Fight, and then eventually it'll drop off. They'll lose at a pace. Just after Christmas time, just after the new year, they'll start losing loads of games. End up 19th. It's my prediction anyway. The third team to go down is Brighton. Brighton is going to go through second season syndrome, I think. I do like Chris Hughton as a manager, obviously being an ex-Newcastle manager and getting us up at the time. But I think this is their season to go down. I don't think they've strengthened that well. And you get that second season syndrome of you've gone through your first season, you managed to stay up. The second one, you're like, oh, we can do this. It's no problem. And I think they're just going to get there underneath that barrier, unfortunately, and get themselves relegated. Next team we're going for, actually I need to do the block. Next block we're going for is 17th to 11th, which you can see my predictions here. Or maybe here. We'll see. Anyway, so 17th position, Burnley. So Burnley are going to play in the Europa League this year, depending if they can get through qualifiers. Won the first game so far, in through to the second round, which they drew 1-1 the first game. Should get through, and if they get through to the Europa League proper, that's when things start getting tough. Your squad gets stretched. They haven't signed anyone. They've only brought through, been 3 new players. Haven't got the biggest squad from what I'm aware anyway. And for that reason, I think they're going to struggle this year. Especially playing Thursday through to Saturday. Your squad gets stretched. Not having a big squad, you end up sinking like a tank. Anyone in the Europa League struggles in the Premier League, to be honest. So if they get further in the Europa League, they're going to risk their Premier League status. But I think they've got enough to survive. They've got a strong team. Good manager. 17th. 16th, going Huddersfield. Again, second season syndrome. About just above the relegation zone. Again, haven't got the best squad. That's where I'm going for them. 15th, going Crystal Palace. Done brilliant in keeping Wilfred Zaha. Really good. It's not a new signing, but being able to fan off the big boys to get him to stay is pretty good. And obviously they've still got Benteke up front. Probably haven't, they've lost to Yohan Cabaye. I don't know how good he was, to be honest, last year for them, but I know he's a good player and he's just kind of snuck off there without anybody realising, really. But yeah, I'm going 15th for Crystal Palace. Next two are Southampton and Bournemouth. Lower table, I haven't really got a reason for these, but that's where I'm going for. 13th Bournemouth, 14th Southampton. Next one up is Wolves. Wolves are tipped to go right to the top. I've seen, even I think the BBC predicted them to be 7th, I think, or around that point anyway. I'm not going that high because I think they've still got some, they've strengthened really well, of course. They're obviously having a multi-million, billion-pound owner. But yeah, they have strengthened, but it's the first season in the Premier League. They've got to get used to this. They're out of the Championship again. They were back in the Premier League like years and years and years ago, but then they dropped down to League One, of course, worked their way back up, and now they're back in the Premier League. But I just think they're not going to have enough to go any higher. They do have Premier League experience in that team, but my gut feeling's 12th. Then 11th, we're going to Fulham. Bought well, again, spent a lot of money and a lot of Premier League experience in there, and for that reason, I'm going just below mid-table at 11th. Not 100% on that one, didn't know where to put them, but we're going mid-table for them. Then, you probably are going to crucify this being a Newcastle fan, but we'll have a look at the top of the table here. 10th, 9th and 8th and 7th, sorry. We'll go Newcastle, West Ham, Leicester, Arsenal. Newcastle is just going Rafa Benitez. I think Rafa is going to keep us doing what we're doing. Obviously, signing Rondon in there and Kennedy, for me, probably being biased, and there's a lot of that actually, again, a few pundits predicted us to get relegated, sitting in 18th place, but I think we can match up what we did last season. We'll push on with Rafa, and then, again, it's one for another video. End of the season, Rafa goes, but yeah, that's a chat for another day. Made some good signings in Rondon and Kennedy, both on loan, but they are our players for this season. So I'm going 10th. Next up, we're going West Ham. In 9th, new manager, Pellegrini. What can you say? He's a Premier League manager, Premier League winning manager with City. So he's good. Then you've got them signing Jack Wilshere, which I highly rate that as a signing. I think he's going to do brilliant. I think Arsenal's going to regret selling him. And it's what they promised, isn't it? When they moved into this new stadium, they were promised that we'd kick on. So I think they will. They've made some really good signings. So I'm going 9th for them, top half of the table. Then we're going Leicester after that. Still got good players. They have sold Mahrez. They will miss Mahrez, unfortunately, but they still didn't. Obviously, Kante went the season before that. We've still got Jamie Vardy up front. Still made some good signings. Solid team. I'm going 8th for them. And surprisingly, for 7th, I think Unai Emery isn't going to quite cut it for me. I think he's not going to be able to solve the problems that Wenger's been causing for years and years and years. Obviously, the change happened to happen eventually, but I think it's too late. I think they're going to knock out this top 6 now, and I think they're going to start dropping, in my opinion. They've got some good players, and we'll see, but I don't think they're going to cut it. Obviously, the season after Ferguson left, Man United did pretty terribly under Van Gaal. So I think the same sort of thing is going to happen with Emery, and they're just going to sink into 7th, which at this point we'll see are the 6th and 5th place. The guys not just short of the top 4, but the Europa League positions are going to be Everton and Spurs, in my opinion. Everton spent a lot of money, especially on that striker. They've got a very good team now. They lost Rooney, which has probably saved them a canny bit in wages, to be honest. But spent lots of money on lots of good players. Got the England keeper in goal. What can you say? I think they're going to kick on and get into the top 6. I think it's going to be because of Arsenal's downfall, but that's what I'm reckoning. In 5th, we're going Spurs. Obviously signed absolutely no one in the summer. I mean, they didn't lose anybody, thankfully, so far. Anyway, actually, all these predictions I'm making here, players could still be going from these clubs. Big players could still go. Depends if the big guys and other PSGs and Barcelona's, Real Madrid's might put in massive bids, you never know. But Spurs kept the same team that they had last year. Got Harry Kane up front, Dele Alli, Lamela, you can list them all off if you want. Lloris in goal. And for that reason, I'm going 5th. I don't think they're going to get out of that top 4 because of the lack of signings. But obviously, having Harry Kane up front, probably, well, the Golden Boot winner in the summer, it's going to help you out a canny bit. So moving on to our top 4. In 4th place, I'm going for Man United. Mourinho he's a bit iffy. I think he could possibly even get sacked this season, but I still think they're going to push on to 4th. get in that top 4 spot. They've still got Paul Pogba, they've got Lukaku. I know he didn't get everybody he wanted, but he still made a kind of good signing in Fred, but I think they do well. They've got Sanchez, although apparently he's not very happy, which you want him happy because look at what he did at Arsenal. He just tore people apart. But for that reason, I'm going for them 4th. Mourinho will get them there, unless he gets sacked, because it is, you know what he's like on his 3rd seasons, usually go downhill. But I still think they'll get 4th. With the team they've got there, they should get 4th, but got to wait and see on that one as well. So they're 4th. Coming in 3rd, we've got Chelsea with their new manager. New keeper. I mean, one worry is they don't have any players up front that literally up top. I mean, obviously you've got Hazard on the left and Willian on the right. Proper balling and bombing on and getting you the goals you need. But in terms of that actual striker position, I'd be a bit worried. I mean, look how Arsenal felt about Giroud. They literally sold Giroud. They weren't exactly happy with Giroud's contribution. That's my prediction. I think they'll get 3rd though. Obviously Hazard just tears the people apart. We've got Kante. And they've got the new manager now, which any big team usually kicks on with the new manager. Obviously I've said different about Arsenal, but I don't think their team's up to scratch. Coming in 2nd. It is Manchester City, in my opinion. I bet you weren't expecting that. I reckon City. Obviously, signing Mahrez, probably a really good signing. It's going to be really tight, in fairness. I think it's going to be a 2-horse race with the both guys galloping. Because obviously, if you know City's there, I'm reckoning that Liverpool's going to be here. But I think it's a 2-horse race with City galloping fast with Liverpool as well. But Salah is a god, literally a god. So I think Mo Salah will get Liverpool through, along with the other recruits they brought in this summer. Whereas City have already brought in Mahrez. I mean, look at both the teams. You don't need to sign anybody anyway. But I just think that Liverpool's just going to get that few more goals than City did. And I think City might eventually, I think they can't go on the same way as they did last year. There's just no team can do that and just keep going on and keep going on and keep going on. Not in the Premier League anyway. In other leagues, yeah. Obviously PSG, Celtic, Bayern Munich, them teams walk the league. But in the Premier League, I think it's too strong. And I think City may eventually get found out. Eventually, that's my thought. I still think they'll get up there. And I just don't think they will get back-to-back leagues. And I think Liverpool, this is their year. This is definitely their year. With Mo Salah banging in the goals again. Firmino, just Mane, they're just going to keep going and going and going. I don't rate Shaqiri. It's the one side of the main I don't rate. But obviously the one weakness they had was the goalkeeper. I mean, play the Championship clip. The Champions League clip. But yeah, I definitely think signing the Brazilian keeper and keeping Salah and signing a new contract, I think it could be their year. It will be their year. So this is my league table. We'll look at it at the end of the year and see what I got, but that's what I'm going for. So I just hope we enjoy the season, have a good clean season, no big controversies. I mean, there'll be plenty of managers sacked, that's for sure. But I hope you enjoy, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.